Here to talk about the future of a Mastriano-free Pennsylvania, it's your state representative, Malcolm Kenyatta. Hi. This is the thing we're doing.
You've been having some fun.
We've been having fun.
The creative process.
Ya. This is it. It's good to see you.
Good to be seen rather than viewed, as they say.
Better to be seen than viewed, I think. Do you agree with me? This is a sandwich town, not a cheesecake town? Cheesesteak town, you see what I'm saying?
This is a cheesesteak town. It's a cheesesteak town. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm used to getting the fewest votes.
Hey, come on. So a lot of the national focus, as we were just talking, has been on the governor's race and the Senate race. Yep. But for people listening, there's a real opportunity this year to take back the legislature. Can you just talk a little bit about why this year in particular gives us a chance to flip the legislature for the first time in a number of years?
Yeah, so we have a chance to flip the state house because of redistricting. You know, I heard Josh mention our incredible future Speaker of the House, Joanna McClinton. And she and Jay Costa, went through and actually got us like a fair map. I don't know, it's this crazy idea where like voters could pick their elected officials and not their elected officials pick their voters. I know.
Crazy concept.
I know.
So last month, you and a number of other LGBTQ politicians announced the formation of an agenda, something called an agenda PAC, to defend the queer community from right-wing politicians, because we've seen this rising right-wing threat. Can you talk a little bit about what the goal is and what you're trying to do with this organization?
Listen, so our goal is to wake up every day, have a glass of water, and then beat bigots everywhere that we can.
You got to drink water. You got to get up. You got to drink a whole glass of water.
First of all, you got to have water because you got to be hydrated.
Wake up. Just drink a glass of water. Don't do anything else. First thing you do, you drink a whole glass of water. It changes your whole life.
It really does. Because you have these folks, you think about Doug, who's obviously a big target for us because he's awful in every possible way, including saying things like kids who are being put through conversion abuse. I don't call it therapy because there's no therapeutic nature to it. He says that these kids are just confused. And our governor right now, Governor Tom Wolf, has used his executive authority to do everything he can to make it more difficult to engage in that type of behavior. He could, with a stroke of a pen, move us in the other direction. I think you had on recently Will Rollins, who's running in California's 41st district against a guy who, now that Palm Springs is in his district, he loves gay people.
Suddenly.
I know.
Didn't like it for a very long time.
But Palm Springs does that to people. Maybe he went and it changed him.
Yeah.
The clean air, the hummingbirds, it does that.
He wrote his book about that. It's called Eat, Pray, Hate. But then he stayed at the Sparrow and everything changed. That's a specific hotel. I'm so sorry. You're from Philadelphia. You've never seen the sun.
Wow. We object.
It rained here for 5 days when I got here. Oh, right. That's a joke. You understand that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a joke. That's why it's called that. It's not true. Well, it's nice to see you on my last visit to Philadelphia.
No, come back. But next time when you come to my district. You're 2 blocks outside of my district.
Great.
So when you come, we'll do it at the Met, and then you're right in my district.
What kind of sandwiches can I get in your district? That's why I'm here. I come for sandwiches. I travel for the food.
Honestly, you can get a good sandwich all across Philadelphia. But this is what I will say. When people come here and they want a cheesesteak in particular, everybody picks a big name cheesesteak place and they tell you to go to that cheesesteak place. No. You go to the corner store, you go to the corner bodega, okay? You just find the most corner store looking corner store and you walk in and you go to the back and the guy's behind the glass and it's baloney at the bottom and he's kind of listening to you but not really listening to you and you have to fight to get your order out and he's already kind of over it and then that is the sandwich that's gonna.
I appreciate that. I understand that.
That's all.
Can you talk a little bit about the status of the fight to pass gun safety legislation in Pennsylvania and some of the work that you're trying to do there?
Yeah, so unfortunately, the status of that, if we don't win back the House and Josh is not elected, is very bleak. You have Republicans right now spending a lot of money putting up ads, using the word crime, but the reality is they don't give a damn about crime. They don't know anything about living in communities where people are actually suffering from gun violence, from gun crimes, and it turns out that people who live in communities like mine in North Philly actually care a lot about us reducing the amount of gun crimes. And they understand that we have to take a holistic approach to this, including doing something about gun safety. The issues of ghost guns, for example, have become a real pariah. We're seeing them pop up more and more and more. We just had a shooting at my high school alma mater, Roxborough High School, where five kids were shot. One, Nicholas, was murdered. And it's heartbreaking to think that Nicholas would be 15 today. He'll be 15 today. And to see these constant school shootings, and you have folks who are committed to doing everything they can to make it more likely, not less likely, that people get their hands on guns. For example, Pennsylvania passed, and thank God Governor Wolf vetoed, a permitless carry bill, which we know makes it more likely that you see the types of gun deaths that we need to be trying to stop.
So, we've seen this across the country. This is happening. It's happening here in Pennsylvania. There's, tons of ads targeting John Fetterman. We see this in Wisconsin, targeting Mandela Barnes. We see it everywhere, where Republicans are trying to use crime to target Democrats while also holding on to their anti-gun control position, and in a lot of cases trying to garner votes from people who basically are not in their own community seeing any of this, but trying to kind of scare them about what's happening in the big cities.
Correct.
Right? What have you seen as the most effective way to kind of fight back against that, which is often racially coded, but basically just trying to kind of scare rural and suburban Republicans and independents into voting Republican based on these sort of crime messages?
So you know what? A part of what I've learned is that we have to show up to places where there are not a lot of folks who necessarily share our experience. And I mean that both ways, not just people from the cities going to rural communities, but folks in rural communities come into the city as well. I mean, since the primary's been over, I've been to 30 plus counties, all types of communities, where I can promise you I have increased the population of black gay kids from North Philly with locks by 1,000%.
Nice.
By virtue of walking in there. But I will tell you what I find all the time. I was just in Wayne County, in Hohensdale, and you walk in and there's this moment where people are like, okay, you are not from Hohensdale. And then there's the second moment where I get to talk to people about why I'm here, why I'm in this. I grew up here in North Philly. My dad was a social worker. My mom was a home health aide. They were the best parents in the world. John, they just didn't like each other, so they got.
And that happens.
That happens sometimes.
That'll happen.
They got divorced when I was pretty young. I lived 6 different places by the time I graduated high school. Got my first job at the age of 12, not far from here, washing dishes at 4th and Spring Garden. And I buried both of my parents by the time I was 25 because they didn't have the type of health care that everybody deserves. And so for me and everywhere I go, there are folks who are having that exact experience. And what happens is when we don't know each other, it's very easy to fill that void with the worst possible idea of who you are. It's very rare that you don't know somebody and you're like, I bet they're great. Usually you think the opposite of that. And so when we show up and don't allow, Doug Mastriano and his ilk to fill the void of who we are and actually talk to people about who we are, I think we can beat these folks anywhere in this Commonwealth, and I think we're gonna win.
That's a great place to leave it. Now, thank you so much for being here. You've graciously agreed to stick around for another segment. It's time for Gay News. Please welcome back to the stage Jared Goldstein. Hi, Jared. Hi.
I'm drunk now.
Yeah. We did it.
I was gonna wear these pants, but then it would have been a whole thing, like who wore it better. And you would have won, and it would have been a mess.
Give it up for Malcolm. I'm so energized
Yeah, let's
by
do
everything
it.
you have to say.
In case you don't know how this works, here's how we'll be telling you a little bit of gay news and then hitting you hard with an insightful punchline. And then the transition between them is we'll all say together, but up, gay news. That's the whole thing. That's it. We just go back and forth. It's as simple as that. So let's kick it off. But up, gay news.
All right.
Shay Mitchell seemed to come out as bi this week, responding to a TikTok video that asked, if you identify as bisexual, do you own a green velvet couch? By leaping on her own green velvet couch.
If couches are linked to sexuality, I guess I'm coming out as covered in crumbs. Yeah, it's
Sometimes the finger pulls the trigger, but sometimes the trigger pulls the finger. Maybe bisexuals don't buy green velvet couches. Maybe green velvet couches stir something inside of us. But gay news.
An Iowa TV reporter came out publicly as trans during a newscast.
My name is Nora J.S. Reichart, and I am a transgender woman living in Des Moines and working for WOI Local 5. For a long time, I didn't think I would get to say that, at least not on air like this. I didn't know if there was a place and a space for me to do this sort of work that I've really come to love and enjoy while also getting to be myself while I do it.
And now, let's talk about the deadly 8-car pileup behind me. As you can see, the fire is still blazing back to you, Jim.
Gay news. A Tennessee Pride Festival will be held indoors following online threats from far-right groups and a legal complaint from Republican lawmakers and organizers who will now check IDs to ensure that attendees at a drag performance are over 18.
But joke's on Republicans, because gay people love the indoors. That's where all our stuff is.
Sorry, teens, no campy lip syncing for you. Republicans want you safe at home in your room with the door closed and your eyes fixed on the tiny glowing porn, violence, cyberbullying, body dysmorphia screen you got for your birthday when you turned 12. Gay news.
A book called The Stone Age, 60 Years of the Rolling Stones, claims that Mick Jagger had ongoing sexual relationships with 2 other Rolling Stone members, Keith Richards and Mick Taylor. Sounds like he left no stone unturned.
Gay news.
I missed the last ba-da-ba-ba-da, and I want to apologize. In a TikTok video titled My Gay Awakening Story, JoJo Siwa rapped about how the Demi Lovato song Cool for the Summer helped her realize she's gay.
One thing about me is that when I was 12, Demi Lovato came out with the song Cool for the Summer. I pretty much watch it every day. Little me, she didn't know she was gay.
We're all on our own journeys. That song briefly convinced me I was straight.
Gay news. Billy Eichner further addressed Bro's box office performance, saying that he believes homophobia was just one factor, along with the bold swing of giving a romantic comedy with no big movie stars a theatrical release. No big movie stars? Are we all just going to sit here and pretend that Guy Branum wasn't Natalie Portman's gay roommate in 2011's No Strings Attached? We're just going to pretend that never happened?
I totally forgot about that.
Guy.
Oh my gosh.
Guy news.
Guy news.
The drag queen Lil Hot Mess, whom Florida Senator Marco Rubio featured in an ad, had one question for him.
Hi, I'm Lil Miss Hot Mess, and I have one question for Marco Rubio. Why are you so obsessed with me and Drag Story Hour?
Hey, said Marco Rubio, that's not fair. I'm also dodging any questions or issues where my actual views might put me on the wrong side of the Republican base.
Gay news. J.K. Rowling has come out in protest of the Scottish Parliament's proposed gender recognition reform bill, calling Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, a destroyer of women's rights. When Sturgeon and Rowling are in the same headline, that's surf and turf. Gay news. Now, before we do the next joke, Hallie, our head writer, had a lesbian punchline she wants to do. Hallie? Hi, Hallie.
Oh, hi.
All right, Jared, kick us off.
A viral clip from the latest Scooby-Doo movie has confirmed that Velma is a lesbian. What other beloved childhood character are they going to suddenly tell us is queer? Ursula?
Can't wait to watch intelligent Gen Z queer people waste the next 12 years of their lives proving Daphne is one too. Gaylor is a prison of the mind. Free yourselves.
Gay news. Gaylor is a prison.
Oh my gosh. So Virgin Atlantic will no longer require flight attendants, pilots, and other crew members to wear traditionally gendered uniforms, allowing them to choose whichever version of the uniform they would like. Your flight attendant could be wearing a pantsuit the next time she has to duct tape a passenger for trying to strangle her. So don't tell me we're not making progress as a society.
However, The company policy requiring them all to stay virgins remains intact. Gay news. And finally, before the new right-wing administration can take office, the outgoing Italian government quickly adopted a new plan for LGBTQ rights in the country, hoping to fight discrimination of queer people in hospitals, schools, and the workplace. I sure hope the Italian LGBTQ community can relax and enjoy the 2 months they still have rights, like when you take a nap while your house burns down. Why did we end on that note?
Very depressing gay news.
Listen, I have some gay news. How great is Malcolm Kenyatta? Come on. One more time for Malcolm Kenyatta.
Thank you.
And thank you so
I
much,
love it here.
Jared. Malcolm Kenyatta, thank you so much. That was a blast.